The news ticker flashes urgent red. Headlines scream of another confrontation in the contested waters of the South China Sea. A Filipino supply vessel, small and vulnerable, is once again swarmed by Chinese Coast Guard ships, their hulls painted a stark white against the deep blue of the ocean. Water cannons arc through the air, a powerful and aggressive display aimed at a much smaller neighbor. This isn't a scene from a movie. It's the tense reality unfolding in the Indo-Pacific, a region holding its breath. Every day we are one miscalculation away from a crisis that could draw in nations from around the globe. China asserts its claim over nearly the entire South China Sea, ignoring international law and the sovereign rights of its neighbors. For the Philippines, this is not a distant geopolitical game. It's a direct threat to its fishermen, its resources, and its security. The world watches, wondering what comes next. Will diplomacy prevail, or will the steady drumbeat of aggression lead to open conflict? Against this backdrop, alliances are being reforged. The Philippines on the front line is seeking partners who can offer more than just words. This is where a new chapter in regional security is being written, not with grand pronouncements, but with quiet, deliberate action. Tonight we look at one of the most significant of these emerging partnerships, the quiet strengthening of ties between the Philippines and Australia. The story begins with a secret agreement and a series of mysterious construction projects. The relationship between the Philippines and Australia is not new, but the steady escalation of Chinese assertiveness has transformed this quiet friendship into a robust strategic partnership. Manila, facing a giant on its doorstep, needs powerful friends. Canberra, watching China's influence spread, knows its own security is tied to Southeast Asia's stability. In late 2023, both nations signed a strategic partnership agreement, a clear signal to Beijing that Manila and Canberra are now in lockstep on defense. This agreement paved the way for more complex joint military exercises, greater intelligence sharing, and, crucially, a legal framework for Australian forces to operate in the Philippines. It also set the stage for a significant Australian investment in Philippine military infrastructure. Exercises like Exercise Elan now involve amphibious landings, air assault operations, and live-fire drills, preparing both forces to fight side by side if a crisis erupts. President Marcos Jr. has pivoted away from his predecessor's pro-China stance, making it clear the Philippines will not yield an inch of its territory. Australia, too, is embracing a more proactive defense strategy, investing in the resilience of its regional partners. This alliance is a perfect marriage of strategic interests, born from the turbulent geopolitics of our time. It's not just about words, it's about action, and it's changing the balance in the region. The centerpiece of this new partnership is a series of construction projects funded by Australia but built on Philippine soil. 8 military infrastructure projects spread across 5 secret locations. The secrecy is deliberate, a tangible commitment of around $60 million from Canberra to upgrade the armed forces of the Philippines. Officials are vague about the details, forcing adversaries to guess where these new capabilities are being developed. This ambiguity is a strategic tool, creating uncertainty for any military planner in Beijing. 8 projects across 5 sites suggest a distributed network, not a single vulnerable base. This enhances resilience. If one site is compromised, others remain operational. The network could include upgraded barracks, logistics warehouses, or enhanced maritime monitoring stations. Each project, no matter how small, strengthens the Philippines' defense web. Australia's largest ever defense investment in the Philippines signals a long-term commitment. This physical footprint, however secret, anchors the alliance in a way no treaty alone can. It creates shared spaces, shared infrastructure, and a shared future. The secret sites are the physical embodiment of this new reality. It's a quiet but firm statement of intent, written in concrete and steel, and it's reshaping the region's security landscape. Why all the secrecy? The answer lies in the art of modern military strategy. Keeping the locations classified denies adversaries valuable intelligence. Revealing the sites would hand a target list to China's military planners. Secrecy is a shield. Likely some projects involve upgrading naval bases and airstrips, runways for Australian surveillance aircraft, piers for warships, secure communications centers. These facilities reduce response times and extend operational reach. The secrecy also serves a domestic purpose. In the Philippines, there's sensitivity to foreign military presence. Keeping projects low profile prevents them from becoming political footballs. For Australia, it shows respect for its partners' internal politics. Ultimately, ambiguity is a form of deterrence. China must now assume there are multiple, hardened, well-supplied locations for joint operations. This uncertainty raises the cost and risk of aggression. In the Indo-Pacific chess game, not showing all your pieces is a powerful move. It's tempting to see this as just another US-style deal, but the Australian partnership is different. The US-Philippines alliance is that of a superpower and a smaller nation, shaped by a long, complex history. The Australian partnership is between two regional middle powers, emphasizing joint use and genuine partnership. Australian projects are upgrades for the Philippine military, with Australian forces invited to use them, not foreign outposts, but sovereign Philippine bases. This fosters co-ownership and builds long-term capacity for the Philippines. Australia's presence is seen as less politically charged, more about collective security than superpower rivalry. Partnering with Australia lets the Philippines build strength without being a pawn in US-China competition. The US alliance remains vital, but the Australian partnership adds a new layer, a latticework of security ties. The Philippines now has multiple, overlapping partnerships for flexibility and resilience. If one relationship is strained, others can take up the slack. It's a smart, diversified strategy for a complex world. Security experts see these projects as a significant step in building credible deterrence. Dr. Ewan Graham notes it's about more than concrete, it's about building habits of cooperation. Shared facilities mean more training, more planning, and more trust. Regular joint drills at upgraded bases hone skills and ensure both forces can operate as one in a crisis. For the Philippines, it's a chance to modernize and learn advanced tactics. For Australia, it's about overcoming distance. Forward-basing options put their forces at the heart of the region. This presence allows rapid response to crises and protects vital sea lanes. The projects also send a powerful signal to Beijing. The region is united, not divided. This is a defensive move, not an aggressive one. It shows countries are willing to invest in collective security. China's strategy relies on isolating neighbors. Alliances like this are the antidote. They show the region is stronger together, and that message is being heard. Australia's sense of security has changed. The rise of a more assertive China has brought the threat closer to home. Now, Australia's defense begins not on its own shores, but in Southeast Asia. If China dominates the South China Sea, Australia's economy and influence are at risk. Over half its trade passes through these waters. By investing in partners like the Philippines, Australia is building a buffer zone, keeping the region free and stable. This is proactive, shaping the environment before it turns hostile. It's rooted in Australia's tradition of alliance building. Strengthening the Philippines strengthens the entire regional security architecture. Recent Chinese provocations have only added urgency to this forward defense strategy. For any military partnership to work, local support is crucial. In the Philippines, the alliance with Australia enjoys strong public approval. Australia isn't seen as a former colonial power or a superpower, but as a reliable neighbor. Decades of positive engagement, disaster aid, scholarships, respectful diplomacy have built deep trust. This trust gives the Philippine government the social license to deepen the alliance. Unlike debates over the US presence, the Australian partnership faces little opposition. Filipinos see Australia as a partner, not a dominator. On the Australian side, there's bipartisan support and a sense of shared values. The Philippines is seen as a frontline democracy worth supporting. This consensus gives both governments a firm mandate to strengthen the partnership. These 8 projects across 5 secret sites are about one thing: building a credible deterrent. They're not meant to provoke war, but to prevent it. Each upgrade adds another layer to the Philippines' defense, raising the cost of aggression. Deterrence works by creating doubt in an opponent's mind. This partnership is a masterclass in building that doubt. The message to Beijing: the Philippines is not alone, and the region is growing more resilient. The secrecy forces China to plan for more contingencies, complicating their calculations. This alliance is a model for the Indo-Pacific, showing that middle powers can build meaningful security partnerships. The more countries adopt this approach, the more stable the region becomes. The partnership between the Philippines and Australia is a patient, deliberate investment in regional stability. The future of the Indo-Pacific may be decided not by loud threats, but by the quiet resolve of partners building a shared defense, one project at a time.